So we'll move on to the methods of costing. Okay, so where and all this can be applied. So where can be costing can be applied. See, costing can be applied in a variety of sectors. So you can apply costing in terms of job costing, contract costing, batch costing, process costing, operating costing, and activity based costing. Okay, so we'll just see what is job costing and we'll see an example. See, job costing means you're trying to find out the cost. Okay, finding the cost of a customized okay, or singular order. Okay, for a single order, okay, or for a customized order, you are trying to find out a cost. Okay, so here in job costing, it is used where one product to the next product are not same, or one service to the next service, they are not same, they are like very very different. Okay, so where do you see this? You see this in terms of for example, you might see this in terms of hospital patient operations. Okay, so assume that a patient undergoes a heart operation. Okay, see, heart operation does not have an MRP, right? Hospitals don't put an MRP saying that come to our hospital, we will operate you at 50,000. It's not like that, because each patient is unique. Okay, some people have blood pressure, some people have kidney problem, right? Some people have hypertension. Okay, they have hypertension, or some people are very normal people. Okay, or some have so each and every person has its own concept of what to say, each of these complications, okay, or this variety adds to the cost, or they reduce the cost. Okay, so that's why you don't find out an MRP say which says that this is going to be the cost. Okay, usually you will never find that in a hospital. So every operation is going to be a job costing. Okay, and even the same applies even for your bikes. Okay, if when you give your bike for a service, each and every bike has its own kind of unique repairs. Okay, so every bike is usually given a job card. Okay, if you have given your bike for service in authorized showrooms, they will give you a job card. So the job card is for your bike. Okay, particularly how much is going to be the cost. Or the next one is contract costing. So contract costing is when you're trying to build a building. Okay, so people like who are into construction sector, okay, who are into construction sector, they use contract costing, because contract costing is going to be very different here. It is a cost which is going to be occurred over a period of years. So it's not that when you construct a building, it's going to be like only for 1 year, within a year you will finish it. Okay, it's not like that. It's going to take a long time of years, 2 years, 3 years, like that. So the cost is going to be occurred over a period of years. Okay, so how you are going to take that into consideration? Okay, how you are going to cost a building? Batch costing is something like production of smartphones. Okay, like smartphones production, it's called as batch costing. Why do we say that as batch costing is, okay, in a particular batch, you produce a model called as A1. Okay, and another particular batch you produce another model called as M1. Okay, so you produce 2 batches of products. Within the batch, assume that you produce 10,000 units. Within this batch, all the products are going to have the same cost. Okay, within this batch M1, you're going to have the same cost, but you cannot compare A1 and M1. Okay, so the products within this batch are all same. Within this batch, it's all same, but between these batches, it differs. Okay, so the cost of producing A1 would be different, and the cost of producing M1 can be different. Okay, so even if you change one small element, something that like this is going to be like 10 megapixel camera and this is going to be like 12 megapixel camera, that itself changes the cost of the product. Okay, so that's about batch costing. So what is process costing? Process costing is where the product goes through several processes. Okay, for example, if you take crude oil, Okay, crude oil is the best example. So crude oil, okay, it could be like converted into as a first step, okay, as diesel. Okay, you can first convert it as diesel, then diesel could be converted as to petrol. Okay, petrol could be converted as to air turbine fuel. Air turbine fuel could be converted as not converted, okay, the residue, okay, the residue of all this process could be tar. Okay, you can also in between, okay, take plastics. It also gives you plastics. So if you see here, this is a process. Okay, crude oil is the first process, extraction is the first process, conversion to diesel is second process, conversion to petrol is the third process, conversion to air turbine fuel is the fourth process. From there on, you can also get products like tar and plastic. So if you want to find out what's the cost of crude oil, you have to take only the cost incurred up to crude oil. But if you want to find out the cost of producing diesel, okay, you have to take into account the cost of producing diesel plus the cost of extracting and producing crude oil, because diesel, okay, comes only from crude oil. So you have to take diesel cost and crude oil cost, or take petrol. You should know what's the cost of converting petrol, then diesel, and then crude oil. All this cost put together is a petrol cost. Okay, so this is a process costing where products keep moving from one form to another based upon like additional cost you spend. Okay, you will get another product. So operation cost, okay, what is an operating cost is, here what we saw is are all products. Okay, now we can find out what's the cost of producing a service. So what are service? Service are education is a service. Okay, education is not a product, education is a service. Or what else we have? We have hospitals is a service. Then we have bus is a service, or a lorry. Transport or transportation is a service. Movies, you are not going to buy a movie, you can only buy a movie ticket. Okay, so buying a movie ticket is a service. Okay, so in service you cannot take anything home. Okay, you cannot take anything home. If you buy education, it's not that you can take the table chair of the school or college. In hospital, you cannot carry the doctor or anyone to your home. In bus or lorry, you're not going to take or carry anything home. And movie ticket, you can't again carry anything home. What you take here is the service. Education, you take knowledge to home. Hospital, you take the treatment to your home. Okay, bus or lorry, you are going to, it gives you the movement from one place to another, that kind of a service it gives you. And movie tickets, and movie ticket is going to give you the happiness of watching a movie for a particular few hours. Okay, so how do you value these? Because these are not at all like visible. Okay, they're not visible at all. So how we are going to value this? This is a very nice interesting concept called as operating costing. And the last one is activity based costing. Okay, so when do you think a cost is incurred? Okay, a cost is incurred only when there is a activity which is involved. Okay, so assume that you run a school. Okay, in a school, only when you have a class, you are going to incur a cost. Okay, so only when there's an activity, there is a cost involved. Okay, for example, in a school, they are going to have a special class. Special class, if you have to pay a little bit higher salary or overtime salary to the teacher. Okay, you are going to incur the electricity cost. Okay, so these costs incur only because of the activity. See, any cost in a company involves because of the activity involved in the company. Okay, so activities are actually of twofold. Okay, activities are twofold. So some activities are value adding and some activities are non-value adding. So you have to find out that. So activity based costing helps you to find out which activities are useful and which activities are not useful. Okay, it tells you that manner. Okay, so these are the methods here of costing. So each actually is a chapter. Okay, each of this is actually a chapter. So we look at all these chapters in the subsequent classes. Okay, so that's about the concepts here.